Hello, my independent artists. Today, I want to go over a songwriting split sheet. We're going to talk about why that's important to have if you are collaborating with any number of people, one person, three people. It doesn't matter. Having a split sheet will help save lots of headache later down the road. We're also going to go through a template provided by Songtrust, which is an admin publishing company. They have a template. I'll link to it in the description below. This is not an affiliate, a video or anything. I use Songtrust as an admin publishing on some of my songs, and they have this template. I think it's perfect and everyone can grab it. It's totally free. So we're going to go through it and talk about what everything means. I hope it's helpful. Please subscribe, please like, and I also have something for you, a link in the description below to the releasing music checklist. If you're in the process of getting ready to release a song, there may be so many things that you're hearing like, oh, don't forget to register with your pro. Don't forget to do this. Don't forget to do that. This checklist will help you organize your thoughts, make sure you're doing everything that you need to do as you release your music. So let's get to it. Okay, as I said, we are going to go over the Songtrust split sheet. So I've shared my screen with you, but first of all, let's talk about the scenarios in which you will need a split sheet. If you are co-writing in any way with someone and the agreement is that you're sharing all of the expenses, you're sharing all of the revenue that it might generate, it's good to have this split sheet, and it should be done before you even get started with the project, not when the song is written, because everything gets kind of convoluted and complicated and people get weird. So I highly suggest that you do this ahead of time. And again, if you're collaborating in any way. Now, what's the difference between collaborating and hiring? I, being a producer, 99.9% of the time, people are hiring me for all of my creativity, and yet I am not going to be a collaborator. I'm not a co-writer, and that's just by choice. They're paying me a set amount, and I say, it's your song, you own it. And so we have a work for hire agreement up front that we do, and that's the way I like to do it. I do have some artists where I do either a discounted production rate and call myself a co-writer, or I will share some of the royalties on the back end of just the master recording. If I'm a co-writer, we're going to do this split sheet. And in those cases, usually I don't charge anything. It's, my production skills is a contribution, and usually they're the ones that have the actual really great singing voice. And, it's like an extension of who they are as an artist. So I won't charge anything up front, but we are splitting the royalties on the back end. Now, if it's an artist that I'm just simply investing in, then I will do something where I charge only on the master recording a percentage, and I still don't do the split sheet because I'm not a co-writer. I'll have them sign an agreement. It's basically a master recording agreement, artist production agreement that says I am entitled to a certain amount of the back end master royalties only. Now, if you're not sure of what the difference is between a master royalty and the song royalty, I'm going to link to another video that I've done where it explains the two different types of copyrights. It's a really important thing for you to understand, especially as we're diving into this split sheet and when not to use one. All right, let's get to the split sheet itself. Okay, again, Songtrust gives this away, and I'll link to it below. Okay, kind of funny language here. Dear gentle persons, kind of funny. On the first page of their split sheet, they just have basically an example of how a song can be split up. This is to confirm that we, the sole writers of the composition listed below, and then you put the song title, hereby agree between ourselves to the following writers' divisions. Now, if you're new into the songwriting world, you might look at this and go, wait, what? You can have someone has 73% and another person has 14%. Yes, it's like a pie. It can be divided however you all agree to divide it. I've talked about this scenario before where I did top line vocal production. I didn't even do any songwriting, but it was to pitch to a major label. And so the hope is that they like the demo, and then we're now equal songwriters, even though I didn't write anything. I, as the vocal producer, so basically the person who recorded the vocals, arranged all the harmonies, did all the recording of that, my percentage in the songwriting was significantly smaller because that was just what we negotiated. So the producer who made the track was, I think, 40%. The top line writer, the person who did the lyrics and melody, was another 40%. And then I got 20%. And that's how we split these tracks that we did just for the label pitching thing. So yes, when you look at a song and you see like 10 songwriters and people are like, oh my gosh, why would it take 10 songwriters to write this stupid little song? It's usually because of this. It might not have anything to do with who actually wrote the song. It may have even been one person or two people. But what they do is they are cutting people into the pie because of their contribution to getting the song to where it needed to be. So when you see that, don't think, oh my gosh, all these people don't know how to write a song. They, need 10 people to write it. No, this is just how it's been split up. Okay. Then it goes on, the writers hereby warrant, represent, and agree that there are no samples, blah, blah, blah. So this little part of the agreement is actually saying who is, going to be responsible if something goes wrong with it, like the producer used a sample and now they're being called out, which I think that's kind of strange, but this is the world we live in. So everybody that's a songwriter on this list is going to be equally responsible. I've also seen other split sheet templates that don't say anything about the samples, but they talk specifically about future royalties, which as I'm looking at this, I'm a little bit surprised that this doesn't say anything about that. It's kind of strange because I think that's where most people are concerned. But as you have completed the split percentages, this is how it's going to be registered with your songwriting organizations, your performing rights organizations. So I'm with BMI, I would register my songwriting portion as whatever it is, 20%, 50%, 30%, and it all adds up to 100% of the songwriting portion and then the publishing portion. And yes, I will have another video that explains what the publishing is all about because it's super, super confusing. I totally get it. But for now, we're not going to get into that. This is just talking about the songwriting split. So if you want to find another split sheet template, you can just Google it. I think ASCAP and BMI, they have their own split sheet templates that you can download. Hopefully it would have something more about the future royalties. Another thing to consider is when the song is written, that's fine and great, but now it needs to probably be demoed, or it might be that one of the songwriters is the artist. Now, who is going to, carry the load and the responsibility of paying for the production of either the demo or the full production? That is a different piece of the pie. Whoever is contributing to the actual recording and production of it, my feeling, and I think this is generally what's accepted, is that person should be compensated for that expense, and or they are entitled to all of the master recording revenue. And that is going to be what's paid through your distribution company like CD Baby and DistroKid and so forth. So if you're the master recording owner, but you also have all these other songwriters, that's a very common scenario. Yeah. Hopefully that was helpful. Make sure you grab your releasing music checklist at the link in the description below, and I will see you next time.